Facebook. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wellness Wake Up. We have this weekly Wellness Wake Up to help you build your self-care toolbox so you can improve your quality life and be at your best to live your highest good. And we wanted to give you some new tools today to help you do that, to become your own medicine and really be in the driver's seat of the quality of your own life, the quality of your health, and the quality of your enjoyment of this whole process of life, so we can do things stressed out and push through. I like to describe it as I used to feel like I was on a bicycle on the freeway, trying so hard to keep up with the traffic spinning by and not get hit by other cars. I felt like I was stressed out and I was chasing my life. Now I've done the work and I have the toolbox to make sure that when I feel like I'm overwhelmed and out of balance and like I'm pushing through and I'm chasing my life, I can change my state and I can get back into my best self, my conscious self, my most powerful self. So we don't have to accept that feeling. We can get in the driver's seat of our happiness, of our capability, and be operating from our best self, our highest self. And that's the whole motivation for me, especially since 2007, from all of the pushing through, from all of the stress. It can happen so often with us as women. We can take care of everyone and everything else, and we can put ourselves on the back burner and be the last on our list. And then that starts to catch up with us, with our levels of energy, with our levels of health that we're operating from. And so then there's a point where we can't push through anymore, and we can have some health challenges and some issues where the stress really catches up with us. So I drew a line in the sand in 2007, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to get some tools. I'm going to get a toolbox that I can use to help myself really stay in my best health and be able to show up in life for myself and for my loved ones and for my work. And so this is a self-care stress relief toolbox, and there's a few ways to look at it. So today we wanted to share with you some really cool tools regarding the simplicity of something like Stephanie Keenan, who is the co-owner of the Oasis Palisades Wellness Center. She also is a dancer for many years and a massage therapist, and she's been using self-care tools to reset her nervous system and shift her state into better states of being for a long time, right? And so just to notice if you need some help and be able to use something to help yourself. And so also at Oasis Palisades, she has a beautiful display area where she sells tools like frequency jewelry. So one of the things that we're battling against is our nervous system gets overloaded by the electromagnetic frequency radiation that comes from our Wi-Fi box, that comes from our laptops, that comes from our phones. It overactivates, overwhelms our nervous system. There's been research studies that have shown that this EMF radiation can actually cause nervous system cancer. 30 leading scientists agree with that. And also Dr. Mercola has written a book called EMF. I think that's such a great title, talking about this issue. We can get EMF'd, right?
That is so funny. Oh my God.
That is such a great way to put it.
EMF.
It's just so hysterical, but so true, because that's the thing. We can not realize that it's our environment that's making us feel stressed out and overwhelmed. And so one of the ways to deal with that is wearing a piece of jewelry that is a frequency that balances the nervous system. So we are frequency. We are resonating at certain hertz frequencies. Our nervous system, our human body is an organic living thing that radiates frequency, light. We are influenced by sound. There are research studies that have shown that our actual DNA, our genetics, respond to sound frequency. And huge changes happen in our physiological body that affect our mental, emotional state. So we can either be EMF'd and thrown off, Or we can use tools like this frequency bracelet to help our nervous system stay balanced in the face of things like electromagnetic frequency radiation from our electronics. So it can be as simple as wearing a bracelet every day. I also have several products from this company. This little bag shows it. It's a Defender Shield, and they make some products like these earphones. So instead of wearing earbuds, I have these tubes that are preventing the electromagnetic frequency from my cell phone from going into my ears and my brain when I'm listening to things on my computer or talking on my phone. I don't have to hold the phone up next to my head and have all of that EMF radiation go into my ear and my brain.
I would,
I really don't want that, right?
Yeah,
so I have these headphones to block that. And then there are also some devices like this USB. I can put this into the USB port of my car, again, to change the EMF radiation frequency coming from my electric car. Same thing. So there are things that we can do to help us not be overwhelmed by all of this radiation that can damage our nervous system and also change the way that our DNA is activated, because that runs our show. Our physiological show is directed by influencing these switches in our DNA to activate certain processes in reaction to our lifestyle, in reaction to the electromagnetic frequency radiation we experience in the environment from the cell phones, laptops, Wi-Fi, 5G network, towers, our electric cars, whatever it is. And so it can be as simple as wearing a pretty bracelet that Oasis Palisades has available at the Oasis.
Yeah, we have. I wear one all the time.
And
my husband and my son wear rings. We have rings also. Then we have pretty bracelets that have been embedded. I was telling you off camera that the reason I believe in these products is because I know the two men who own the company, and they actually are so amazing and knowledgeable about the whole electromagnetic field. And with the muscle testing, you can test things and see if it makes your body stronger or weaker, if you're, balanced.
yes, that is such a good point, because the kinesiology muscle testing, so again, we are a factory of electrical energy that our body is producing from us breathing in oxygen and utilizing nutrients like B vitamins. So we're making these chemical reactions, and then the electrical energy has to circulate well through our whole body to drive the functions of our movement, the messages from our brain to our nervous system, drive our organ function, drive the regeneration of our cells. So if that energy, if that electricity in our body is blocked and it can't get to where it needs to go, then those cells aren't properly respirating. Those cells aren't properly functioning and operating, and then disease can develop. So this is a really serious and very fundamental root cause of disease.
Let me tell a way to understand it with the earthing and grounding, like having a piece of the jewelry or your other things. It's like being at the beach in the wet sand, where you are in complete nature with the sole of your feet are immersed in the salt water and in the sand and the grounding that's happening, earthing. That is like true, like that's probably that's why we feel so good being at the beach.
It is. It's a complete reset of our nervous system.
Reset. That's the word I was looking for. It's a complete reset.
It's a hertz frequency. When we're in nature, when we're barefoot on the ground, we become the frequency of the earth, of nature. Grounded outlets have a copper pipe that goes deep into the ground of the earth to bring that electrical frequency up into our electrical outlets. When we use an earthing sheet, it's plugged into the grounded outlet. The earthing sheet has silver
and
thread.
this is real stuff. Like, I haven't seen it
This is
done that
clinical
often.
research
But
study.
there, what's those machines that they magnify? But that goes back to even like them being able to measure, like, even like the electricity in your home is all being
Absolutely.
used on that grid of frequencies. Somehow it's connected, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's a spider web within us. When we have in our own body operating, our fascia tissue is a series of spider web fibers. When they slide against each other, they spark. They create electrical energy that travels through us. That's why we're 78% water. You've seen when there is lightning and it goes in a storm and it conducts in water, it moves. That's how you can get electrocuted in a storm. If you are making contact with your human body, with your bare skin. If you don't have rubber shoes, or if you're not in a rubber tire car, you will get electrocuted because the electricity will travel through. So in our body, we want that to happen. And then it gets off frequency, throws us out of balance, and activates things in our DNA to express that are not healthy. That's a problem.
It's making me picture you as an acupuncturist at Oasis Palisades, how the needles are...
The needles are directing the traffic of that electricity flowing through our body. Exactly right. And the research studies have shown when we didn't wear shoes, so there are tribes in parts of the world that were never exposed to Western culture, and so they operated for thousands of years walking barefoot every day without shoes. So over the last 100 years, say, of modern Western medicine in our modern urban society where people are wearing shoes and not walking barefoot, we've developed a number of modern diseases, things like diabetes and heart disease, do not exist in these tribes that don't wear shoes, that are making that connection, earthing connection with the earth in bare feet every day. And you don't have to walk all day in bare feet. Just a half hour of that will reset your nervous system to your parasympathetic rest, digest, repair, ideal response, where the miracle healing mechanisms of your own body are turned on. So it doesn't have to take a long time. But in those tribes where they introduced shoes and they started wearing rubber-soled shoes and they stopped making that contact with the earth, they started to develop the modern diseases that we have, that they never had before for thousands of years when they were living in the forests, in the jungle, before we came in to research them and mess them up by making them wear rubber-soled shoes every day. So it's so huge that these are that's why nature is so important for our exposure. It's also for the sunlight, in addition to making contact with the earth as well, because that cleanses us. It helps us make vitamin D that supports our hormone balance and immune system. Again, it's the sun exposure is helping us to activate our inner balanced healing mechanisms and change our state and our frequency of resonance. And what's fun is we do have the technology to measure all of these things, and they have been clinically researched and proven. This actually is an existing phenomenon.
Let me ask you a question, because I'm looking. I know you and Dr. Tiare studied Qigong, and I know tiny things that I've learned over the years. There's a person, George Xavier Love, with Blue Dragon Qigong Academy, and I love watching his and his friends' videos.
Nice.
Doing Qigong, and it's usually more like a Tai Chi where it's really hard to follow. But just recently he did some amazing things that felt like I wanted to learn more. It's just like this, bringing like stuff like this, and like, just movement things, that were like, I can't, I mean, I was just looking at it in my on Facebook, just now, just to get his name correct. But
Yeah,
just
yeah.
things like this, and it felt so good to follow him. And I'm like, oh, I got to learn this. And just some certain movements and like bringing it in, but then there were also ones letting it out. And it was very easy to follow. It seemed like there were very specific movements
Yes.
that were very flowing. And it was not complicated. I loved it. It was like, because
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got to know more about that. Because Tai Chi is so hard to me, like, because it's so movement. Yeah, it has to be
style, different way of movement that's not really natural to how we're taught to move from when we're children in real daily life activities of daily living. So just like your belly dancing,
you're bringing in
train yourself to move in a new way. And so I want to explain this fascia tissue. That's a layer of spiderweb tissue with these tiny threads that line all of our muscles, all of our bones, cover our entire body. They're all connected. It's one unit. And so the electricity can flow through that whole fascia system, or it can get blocked. So when you're doing those types of circular movements, full range of motion, you're moving those fascia tissue threads, and they're sliding, and they're creating sparks, and they're passing the electrical energy all through you. So you're not blocked anymore. We tend to always sit or stand in the same way. And so we get these blocks of the electrical conduction through our fascia freeway system.
Oh, it was just movements like this too. Simple things like that. Simple things like that, I remember.
The circular movements are opening up the full range of motion. Whenever we move, we create those sparks of electricity within our fascia system. And we're letting the electrical energy that we generate, we're an electrical energy factory with chemical reactions making electricity. So when you move the way you're moving, Stephanie, you're letting all of that electrical energy open up and move through your entire body system. It releases tension. It'll make you feel energized and lighter. And then we were talking about off camera before we began planning what we were going to talk about today. So when we pull out, we have an excess. So we could look at pain as a traffic jam. It's like a 10-car pileup in an area of our body where none of our electrical energy, our blood, body fluids, oxygen, electricity is not moving through an area. It's like a bottleneck on a freeway. Things are stuck. So our body is telling us something's stuck here. There's excess here. Things can't move out. Things can't move in. It's like the garbage collection company never comes to our neighborhood. So we have inflammation, we have waste products from the cells, we have a big 10-car pileup. I'm feeling my shoulder because I've torn my rotator cuff twice. I have scar tissue here. I have a traffic jam here from the scar tissue that doesn't allow this good positive electrical conduction, blood flow, body fluid flow to come through this area well. So by doing these types of movements, by doing the tapping, this is all part of a Qigong in Chinese is energy movement. It's like yoga and Ayurvedic medicine from India. We are doing a practice of movements, and this lymphatic draining that is stimulated from pressure. The lymphatic system is a one-way freeway system. It's only activated by pressure. So when we move, we're putting pressure. Our muscles are contracting. We're driving waste products, that traffic jam of inflammatory fluids and waste products from cells through the lymphatic system to clear out. And
tell them how you told me with the feet, with your feet going, and then so you told me every morning you do that before you get up. I got to remember that too.
And the reason why is because from working standing for so many years, I worked in a gym for 6 years. I've been a yoga instructor. I'm an acupuncturist. I've been an energy worker. It's been many years on my feet. I can have plantar fasciitis, which means that the plate of tissue on the bottom of our foot, just like on our hands, this fascia tissue I'm talking about, gets stiff and tight and dehydrated, and it doesn't have the flexibility that it needs unless I give it a practice of helping that to get the blood flow there. So I do, all of the joints will benefit from circular movements and doing full range of motion. So it's the same with my hands as it is with my feet.
Let me ask a question. One of my Reiki master friends, Shaylin Parker, she's amazing. She took us through a guided meditation a couple weeks ago, but before we did it, I'm asking you because you were so knowledgeable, because I wasn't clear on what exactly this meant, but she had us rubbing our feet and opening up space. I get opening up space, but can you explain that a little bit?
So when you realize that you have trapped waste products from cells have to do chemical reactions. They open up and take in things, and they have to release things. And there's the movement of blood and body fluids, oxygen and nutrients. Mm-hmm. If we are stiff and tight, if we are not flexible, if we haven't moved, there is no space. It's filled with a bunch of waste products and inflammation. And that's why things hurt.
Love this explanation. Okay, so opening up space we were doing our feet, but I think we might have did it in our hands too. Maybe in our ears. Maybe in our ears.
And this is why this is such a great basic understanding of how our human body reacts to stress stimulus. Mm-hmm. So we can be feeling stress from just our thoughts, planning, solving problems. That creates a physiological reaction in our body. When we go into fight or flight stress response, we shrug our shoulders up, we scrunch our forehead, we clench our hands and our feet. Okay, we hunch over, we breathe shallow, we trap carbon dioxide in our lungs that makes us irritable. This is all an automatic subconscious response. So if you release your feet that are scrunched, if you release your hands that are scrunched, if you release your shoulders that are scrunched, your face, your scalp, these are all the things that are in tension, holding, stress, hyper focus. We are in fight or flight. We're making cortisol. All of our muscles are tense. We're not getting any good circulation anymore. All of that electrical energy, blood, body fluids, nutrients, waste products, everything's trapped. We're shut down, and it hurts, and it doesn't feel good, and it makes us more irritable. If you release your hands, you start to send a relaxation response through your whole body, just from that one spot. Same thing if you massage your feet. Same thing. If you massage your scalp, your face, and particularly the ear is very, very important. Mm-hmm. We have all of these wonderful tools now within modern science, technology, where we can see and understand the human body better. The ear is the root of the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the master nerve. Vagus, US on the end, vagus nerve is the king. He directs our whole show. He's in charge of that fight or flight response. If we can talk to the ear, we talk to the vagus nerve, goes down from the amygdala in the back of our head that holds that trauma, that stress, that PTSD.
So the things that stimulate the vagus nerve, dancing, singing, massage, like you said, dancing, singing, massage. I forget
because the vagus nerve goes down through our throat, chest, into our abdomen. When you dance, two things, any type of exercise, we breathe differently. We do abdominal breathing. We get energy and movement through our abdomen. We release that tension, that cement brick that the vagus nerve stress response has triggered. We actually have things moving. Same with the dancing movement, especially your belly dancing. You're doing circular movements with your lower back. And keeping the back flexible is also the fundamental foundation of health too, because we have our spinal column, all of that electrical energy is coming out into all the branches of our nerves, into our whole entire body, all of our organs, all of our limbs. If we're out of alignment, if we have that big traffic jam of tension, if that electrical energy can't pass through our spinal column to the rest of our body, it can't drive function. We can't be healthy. So the dancing helps to open up the spine. All of that flexibility, all of that wonderful electrical energy can move through our nervous system. It can drive all of our cellular functions, respiration, regeneration. It turns us on.
Okay, I just had a aha. We're going to have a retreat, small retreat at the beach where
Nice.
we can social distance, be safe, but we can do this and be grounding at the same time.
Exactly. That's a brilliant idea because, too, sunshine kills the virus, and circulated fresh air can blow the virus away. Outside, inside, all that space, it's the safest place to be. It really is.
We're going to do a retreat at the beach.
And now it's the most beautiful weather to enjoy of the whole entire year here. We're in Southern California, one of the most beautiful places in the world. If you want to get barefoot in the sand, this is the time. It's July.
Oh my goodness, right?
Don't miss it, right? And
right.
you can do earthing barefoot in a park. You can do earthing barefoot in your backyard. You can do earthing barefoot on a patio. The earthing sheet I have on my bed, I'm earthing while I'm sleeping. They sell small little pads. You can be sitting in a chair and have your feet on it, earthing while you work on a computer to make sure that your nervous system is in its best parasympathetic rest, digest, heal state, that you're balanced, you're not stressed. Because the stress response, when our electrical energy frequency in our body is not in balance, we're creating the inflammation that's the root cause of all of the diseases that kill us. That's not what we want. Plus, it keeps us tense and moody and angst-ridden. That's not what we want either. We want to be able to be calm, open, cool, collective, creative, and enjoy our life as it unfolds each day. Not be a whole big stress ball stuck together like tape with aches and pains, all aggravated. Does that sound fun? No.
Okay, I've upgraded. Malibu house on the beach.
I love it. That's great. And then, too, just to think about this idea. So,
who has a Malibu house on the beach that wants a retreat private just for you and a couple of friends? Doesn't that sound magical?
Yeah, so magical. And then how can we create that in our lives? So, like we had decided at Oasis Palisades with our retreat collective that we will commit to a self-care Sunday small intimate retreat once a month.
So once a month, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, let's look at.
Wow, we got to have one soon because we just had one. It's going to be already 2 weeks.
As far as a location, Dr. Tiari has the Love Center in Ojai. She has over an acre of property, and you can be barefoot in the grass on her property in her beautiful environment for the day outside in the sunshine in Ojai.
I like that.
So we can do that in July, for example, with a small group. And for everyone watching, this is the question I invite you to ask yourself. What would a self-care Sunday look like for you? What is a way that you can reset your nervous system, put yourself shifted back into your best balanced parasympathetic healing state and the miracle of your body totally activated? What are some of the simple things that you can do? What would that look like? Would it look like wearing the frequency bracelet? Would it look like joining Stephanie
I have
classes, right? What does it look like?
Without saying names of what we have, as far as our tools that we use, one of our wellness Oasis Palisades Retreat Collective, where we are Andrea, Claudia, Tiari, and myself. Did I miss anybody? Terry, Andrea, Claudia, me, and Tiari. There's 5 of us. Okay, so we're the 5 Oasis Palisades Retreat Collective. And then we've got our little, our sub people like Maria doing her amazing things. And then we've had guest healers and stuff. And
Maria is an esthetician for anyone that doesn't know. And she does facials, and she does a very unique facial, the Harazine facial. So
we look forward to coming back.
Stephanie, you have some really amazing, unique experiences available at Oasis Palisades that aren't available anywhere
Well, what I
else.
was going to say, we were on the, we'll go back to Maria, because right now nobody can have Maria at the moment, just for now. But one of the tools we have at Oasis, without naming names and who represents it, is a electromagnetic field medical treatment. No names, but there's plenty of different choices out there. But that's another way of protecting,
Resetting your nervous system.
resetting. I like protecting in one way is, yeah.
We protect ourselves by resetting our nervous system back to healing.
Our nervous system. Okay,
that's really our job each day, to notice: are we out of balance? Are we stuck in fight or flight? Are we making pain, inflammation? Are we making ourselves emotionally reactive? If we notice that we are stressed out, let's stop and do something about it.
Yes, something. Okay, so it's anything. I'm going to make myself a note, because we have to, like Terry's talked from the get-go, every morning, wake up, take an inventory, and have your goal be to live your highest, best day self, your soul, mind, body, business, everything, intention to be the best.
But the only way we can be our best is to notice when we're out of balance and we're stuck in stress, and reset ourselves. That's really our job. And then, there's a couple ways to do that. We're talking about physiological resets from the practice of the tapping, the circular movements, the Qigong practice, things like yoga, things like Qigong, things like belly dancing, for example. These are ways that we can turn our body on into its miraculous healing self, being at our best with our frequency of resonance at our rest, digest, repair, parasympathetic nervous system state. So we will get out of balance with that all day long. We might wake up tired and cranky, who knows? So we can take our body back, take our day back. We can set that intention. How can I help myself be at my best today? How can I help myself be healthy today? What does that look like? Will I make the point? One of the things we've talked about several times, like Terry has mentioned and Tiari has mentioned, I've mentioned it too. Check in with ourselves when we first wake up. How are we doing? How can I help myself? Notice if we are all stressed out during the day. Take 5 minutes, change our breathing. Terry has those amazing guided imagery meditations on her YouTube channel. Maybe make a break. Can you take one of Stephanie's belly dancing classes Saturday, 11 o'clock? What would it look like for each of us to help ourselves during the week? One of the things too, when you say like, okay, if I'm going to make a habit, I have to figure out when it's going to happen during the day, right? And that can be the first challenge is, do I wake up a little bit earlier to take that time in the morning to check in with myself, to do a Qigong practice, a stretching practice, to do a guided imagery meditation? What is it, right? We all can decide. What are we going to do to set the tone for the day and get us in our best state, right? To take on the day from a calm, focused, fully activated best self position. And one of the things that I've been using lately is this High Performance Habits by Brouchard. This is a wonderful book based on thousands of participants over the last 20 years he's been working with. What are the habits that the high performance people have, which means how can we operate more often in our best self, awake, conscious, aware, calm, not emotionally reactive, in our best state of functioning physically, mentally, and emotionally. And one of the things that reduces my stress, the book comes with this planner, because with that great question you asked Stephanie, when do I do this stuff? Like, what is my goal, right? Right now we're at 6 months. A fun practice that I invite everybody to do, evaluate this last 6 months. Were there things that you wanted to do? This is a practice my wonderful coach and friend, Sean Tiberio shares in some of his programs. I'm in a couple of his programs right now. This is what successful businesses do, and we are our own business ourselves. Our health is our own business. We also manage too, besides our work. Do you check in each quarter, every 3 months? How are you doing? What were your intentions for that 3 months? Now we're at the 6-month point in 2020. What were your intentions at the beginning of the year? Did you want to focus more on your health? Did you want to grow areas of your business? Did you want to improve your personal relationships? Like right now, after the joke about COVID-19 is weight gain, right? The 19 pounds that people gained from staying at home. Some of my patients made that joke. I thought that was hysterical. So it's your intention right now in July for the next 6 months until the end of the year. What are you going to do this next 3 months to focus on your health, maybe to lose that 19 pounds, for example? We each get to choose now. This is a new quarter. What will we commit to for the next 3 months to achieve what our intention, our goal is? Because the first habit in this book is you have to get clear. And we can only focus on up to 7 things at a time. And that's actually on the edge of overwhelm. So we want to get into this 3 to 5 things. So what are the 3 major things? Let's set ourselves up to win that you want to focus on the next 3 months. What is it? So one of the things when I look back at the last 6 months, my focus the last 6 months was to use the COVID-19 shutdown to focus on my health with the extra time that I had when I couldn't work at the other clinic locations where I was working, to take my health back with that extra time. So I could do yoga every day. I could do meditation every day. I could do things I could control what I was eating. I just don't buy something. I don't have it in the house. I'm not going to go out to a restaurant to go eat, get tempted with my girlfriend to order cheesecake, right? So it was easier for me to focus on my health and set some limits for my diet and set a commitment. I will exercise every day. I have no excuse. I have the time. I'm just going to show up and do it. And how would that be fun? So let's get clear. What are those 3 things for the next 3 months? And I like this journal because in this journal, you actually write that down. You have to write down there's a page in here. I just got this journal in the beginning. There's a whole system here. What are your goals here for this year, this 6 months, this 3 months? What are we doing? And how will we take action each day to make that happen? So if we want to lose weight, like I have a weight management program, what are the actions that you can take to make that happen each day? What does that look like? And part of it is resetting your nervous system, making sure that when you're stressed out, you don't let yourself stay stressed out. You won't make the stress chemicals that make the tire of weight around our abdomen. That's stress weight. If we have weight in certain areas of our body can only tell us it needs some help in an area by showing us something, right? A feeling, the tension, the tightness, like, hey, I need some attention. Please do some of that Qigong. Get some belly dancing going. The lower back hurts. The shoulders are crazy. I got a spare tire around my abdomen. The body's just asking us to notice and then choose some simple tools. So now for the summer, and things have opened up, even if they're just only open partially. And if we can now, we figured out a number of best practices, safety measures. We can gather safely in a small group of people. Like we did a self-care Sunday. It was just 7 of us. We had a huge home outdoor patio. We had plenty of space, sunshine, fresh air. So what would it look like for all of you? What is the intention? Do you want to improve your health over the next 3 months? What would you do each day to help reset your nervous system so we're not making stress waves, stress chemicals, not emotionally reactive? Are you going to wear one of the frequency bracelets? I'm going to get one from Stephanie. The one I had, it broke and I need a new one. And she has some prettier designs, I think, than the one I had anyway. So what are those things? Are you going to get some of the radiation protection earphones for all your phone calls or Zoom meetings you're doing, right? What does it look like? Are you going to get an earthing sheet like I have? So when I'm sleeping, I'm balancing my nervous system. What does it look like? Can we get together? Like we had said, okay, if we're going to do a small group self-care Sunday once a month, okay, when will we do that? Is it the last Sunday of the month? And where is that location? Can we stand in the grass? Can we be outside together? Can we do some Qigong together? In this last one, we had a great time. Stephanie led us through a belly dancing class. That was awesome. Talk about getting all of your electrical energy flowing through your body, feeling free, light, happy, energized, de-stressed, right? All the tension came out of my back. It was fantastic. And it was so much fun. And the biggest thing, I loved that example because everybody, all seven of us agreed that was so fun. That was so fun. That was 30 minutes of belly dancing, and it was so fun. And we all felt so alive from it. So let's all, I invite all of us, if we look at the last 6 months, what did we learn? Not to beat ourselves up, but just also let's celebrate what we have done. So like we had made this commitment as the Oasis Palisades Retreat Collective in April to come here and share these wellness self-care tools with you guys, to have these talks so that we could share some tools for you to use at home to help yourself stay healthy. We wanted to help all of you healthy people stay healthy and de-stress so you can be healthy. So I think that was a good commitment. I've really enjoyed being with you for our weekly webinars to share these tools, and we learn from each other and we practice some things together, and then we get to help other people on this adventure too. And so celebrate what we've done the last 6 months. What did we learn that maybe we didn't handle yet, right? And then what are we going to do the next 3 months? So I love this for us. Our self-care Sunday we just had a week ago was the first time I was in a small group. Many of us weren't getting out that much, right? And it felt just so good to connect with some wonderful women and share a healing day and that community and that connection. And it was absolutely wonderful. So now maybe that's something the rest of you guys want to look at. How can we help ourselves reconnect, right, to our community? And support each other being healthy too. What does that look like? And I'd like to do more of that over the next 3 months as an intention. And that's why I like the idea of us, Oasis Palisades Retreat Collective. We can do a small, safe retreat once a month on a Sunday as a self-care event for us to join in community and help each other, lift each other up. So that feels so good as a wonderful intention for us. How can we do that? What would that look like for us, you know? And then for all of you guys listening, what does that look like for you? What's the best thing that you could do and plan to help yourself over the next 3 months? And then let us know how we can help you do that. If you want to lose some weight, you know, you can contact me. We do virtual consults. Stephanie has her belly dancing classes. As an acupuncturist, I can see patients. I'm essential at Oasis Palisades and my practice in Hollywood. We have some services that are available. You can have frequency bracelets too from Oasis Palisades also to help you. And so we want to help you help yourself. What does that look like? Maybe that's having some herbal medicine. Maybe that's having some fun plans with your community to get together safely, to support each other in your wellness. Let's all figure out now at this new month, the next 3 months, how can that look like? Like Stephanie, for you to finish us out, what feels good for you? Is there one thing that you'd like to make sure that you focus on in the next 3 months? Is there anything that comes to mind? What would help you the most, do you think?
Well, I am just grateful that you and Tiari and Claudia and Andrea and Maria and Tony, I'm so grateful.
And Terry too.
Sorry, Terry, of course. Oh my goodness, everybody. I am just grateful that that you are a essential business and that you are still available to help people, because you know, I've been taking the calls on about with those people who, you know, who are hurting and who are alone and who do need, you know, assistance with getting resetting their frequencies or resetting their bodies, resetting their minds. And like we said before, if there's something we can't do for them, that we will definitely find somebody who can help them. But there's so many things. Acupuncture is for, I mean, you can do acupuncture for anything, everything. I mean, what are the quickly, because I know I got 10% battery on my computer, but what is there a contraindication with acupuncture? Is there some person that it was like, oh no, we can't treat that or treat?
Well, what we do is in acupuncture, we would treat people differently depending on what their condition is. So when you were talking about the Qigong earlier, we can pull out excess energy, or we can tonify, put in energy. So that changes the way that we needle, and it'll change the self-care recommendations we make to the patient. So to give one example, if someone has really low energy and they're totally depleted, let's say, and maybe they are, you know, they've been through a sickness, or they've had surgery, or they are a more elderly person and have some mileage, we've been living a lot, expending a lot of energy. If someone is low energy for all kinds of reasons, depending specifically on their case, then we wouldn't have the needles retained for a long period of time. We would just do it as a short boost, maybe only 15 minutes, because we don't want to move so much electrical energy that we drain the person and they feel more tired after the treatment. We want to move things just enough to give a boost. And then what's nice, after the 15 minutes, they can feel energized and uplifted and better and not drained. And so we give those little energy boosts. I like to call it spirit gasoline. It's mind, body, and spirit. We give a nice boost. We get all of the channels open, everything moving through our whole system. People feel uplifted, better, and more able to go through the week, because the results of the treatments can last 3 days, 5 days. As we move through from the first treatment through the treatment plan, in 6 to 8 treatments, we usually shift somebody into a better pattern of energy circulation. So the contraindications are dependent upon what the needs of the person are. We would change how we are treating and what the self-care that we recommend would be. Same idea with herbal medicine, like you're drinking tea. There are herbs that have a cold nature, like antibiotic herbs, things like oregano oil. They're cold. So if somebody has a colder constitution, in Western medicine, we can look at that as like a hypothyroidism or a food sensitivity. Their abdomen might even feel cold to the touch. There isn't a lot of good energy circulation, electricity function happening in their gut, in their stomach, for all kinds of reasons. So we wouldn't have them have a cold herb tea alone, just another cold bomb. Cold constricts, stops movement. If they already have slow metabolism function in their gut and intestines, a very cold herb is not really going to be beneficial to them. So we do formulas to balance out the cold herbs with warm herbs. And then too, maybe we'll do some of the practices, like within the Qigong energy movement practice, there's a earth meditation where we're helping circulation go through the gut on purpose, focusing on it, like with your belly dancing, when you're doing all of those movements through the pelvis and lower back area, you're opening up all of that energy and circulation that would help someone that has those types of gut issues. You had mentioned singing earlier. And again, when we exercise and move, when we sing, when we use breathing techniques, driving the oxygen deep into our lungs, we also are helping all of that energy, metabolism, movement, circulation, blood nutrients, and body fluids. Things start to move instead of it just being a stagnant brick, iceberg, so to speak, where nothing's happening. So the contraindications are to do the proper diagnosis to make sure that we are balancing the body, giving it what it needs, and not helping it stay wherever it's stuck and making it worse. So move the excesses out and tonify the deficiencies with the needles, with the qigong, with the self-care education, the lifestyle practices, with the herbal medicine, with the diet. All that stuff come together like puzzle pieces. So each person's treatment and recommendations are unique to them.
Right.
So same like some of the herbal medicine too, we can lower blood pressure, dilate blood vessels. Again, from the needles, we get things moving. So again, if somebody has low blood pressure, we can make it lower and they'll feel dizzy when they try to get up. And then, if somebody's on medication and then, we make them even more efficient, they'll feel more dizzy. So we're always looking at, what is going on with each individual person to change, customize the treatment plan for them. So that's the biggest thing. It's not like one size fits all for everybody all the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, my darling. Well, I am so grateful that we're still able to do this week, even though we are by ourselves. Terry, never forgotten, and T.R.E. and Claudia, we miss you. We will see you both all next time.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you all next time.
So, yes. My last final thought was, remember to make space.
Yes, because then you can bring more in. It's like that idea of spring cleaning the feng shui, right? In our own body, it's the same. If we clear the excess, all the tension, all of that fight or flight, stress balls stuck together like tape, you have space to bring in your creative self, right? To bring in the positive energy boost, to open up your life to new possibilities. We have to make the space first. Then you can feel it. You can breathe in all that health and vitality. You can connect with people. You have space for yourself, for other people, space to even just stop and remember what is most important to us. And this is a nice time now for the next 6 months. Let's stop and remember what's most important to us. Do we want to put our health on the front burner now? Do we want to do some qigong circular movements? What do we want to do to help ourselves each day? Let's have fun exploring that. That's why we do this whole Wellness Wake Up series. So we'll see you guys next time with some more toys for you to play with to help enhance your wellness and well-being. Thanks so much, Stephanie, for bringing us together.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you again soon. There, I ended. I'm pressing the buttons to end this. It's being a little delayed. I don't know why that